let's start it off. What's up, everybody? My name's Noah.
And I'm Luke.
And today we're talking about all the things that are ruining Hollywood. Okay, wait.
To start off, what's ruining Hollywood, it's book adaptation. Whether it's novels and comic books. Also, we're going to move on to sequels as well.
Yeah, book adaptations and sequels are ruining Hollywood. But I mean, that's a very common answer. Everybody says that. Those are like the things everyone's like, oh, another book movie's coming out. And like, we know why there's book movies. We have targeted audience, people who've seen it. Money, there's always big actors in the book movies.
Yeah.
It's just like, we know what we're getting when we go to it. It's familiarity, but it's also different at the same time. So people, like, that's the reason people do book movies. But
book movies, it makes it, there's pros and cons to any situation. One is ruining Hollywood because everyone's focusing, instead of looking at the other films that are in the box office at the same time, they're looking at these films that have been critically acclaimed when they're in book format, and now they're having these huge actors that they have all this money to pay for, and they're looking to watch this film instead of another film that's getting shied away.
But it's ruining the originality.
Because now you instead of making a fresh idea, fresh film, you're literally taking it.
You're just recycling something.
Taking it from somebody
else. Like, you have
else.
a pre-made script. You have like, everything is just like plugged in, like the quadratic equation.
Yeah, but the pros to it though, there are a couple of pros to it. One is that you do have that general audience, which in one sense ruins it because everyone's looking to see this film instead of another. But two is that since there's gonna be a bigger budget for the film, that they're able to hire more talent. They're able to hire more help because they have a higher budget for the film. Also, it's helping out the book industry as well because one, if you haven't read the book yet, you see this movie that's based off a book, you're like, oh, like me at least, like I'll see movies that I haven't heard of, movies on books I haven't heard of before. I'm like, oh, I mean, this looks like the preview looks cool. I'm gonna read the book first before I watch the film.
Do you still think it's like a shitty thing to say when people are like, the book was better than the movie? Because I think that's a really stuck-up thing to say.
No, it's not. It's
because it's a given at this point. Like, we know that it's gonna be better.
It's not necessarily a given. It is definitely a huge majority of the.
You can generally just assume.
Generally speaking, the book is going to be
better.
better. Like, for example, the most recent film, Martian. I read the book far before I knew the movie. They were going to make a film on it. The book was so much better, a lot more detail, a lot more things happened in it, but the movie was still decently good.
Because back in the day when I was stupid, I read The Hunger Games.
Okay.
I loved The Hunger Games. I was a 9th grader.
The book.
The book.
Okay.
I read a book. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
I read the book. I loved the book. I watched the movie, and the movie made me hate the Hunger Games franchise.
Yeah.
They didn't talk about Katniss and Peeta's love, because that shit made me cry.
They did.
No, they didn't, because like,
they cared for each other.
There was a very specific moment. There's a very specific moment in the book when Katniss, like, Peeta is sick and Katniss is like holding him. I don't remember it specifically, but Katniss is like holding him, and Peeta's like, these might be my last moments, but I'm glad they're with you. And then Katniss is like, ooh, I love you so much. And he's like, I love you too. And then they kiss or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he's like, please make sure to come back. And then Katniss leaves. Yeah. And I'm like, damn, that's cute. And I see the movie and I'm like, how do you guys butcher this?
It's because you're taking such a thick, you're taking such a thick text and trying to squeeze it in to a 2-hour film. You're gonna miss some things.
Like, Daredevil, I think, is a much easier thing. It's easier to watch Daredevil than it is to read the comic book it's based on.
Watch Daredevil, the TV show.
TV show, not the trash piece of shit movie. The TV show.
Yeah, definitely.
Fuck Ben Affleck. In general, TV shows are much better suited for this book stuff.
Yeah,
they're much longer
because they can add seasons.
Because it's not 2 hours; it's like 19 hours.
Yeah,
of shit, like,
no,
stuff.
Definitely.
And that's why I think it shouldn't be a thing in Hollywood anymore. Because the thing that I like most about movies is a concise 2 hour. Like, there's a start and there's an end. It's all defined. I don't want to know the beginning and I don't want to know the end. I want to see what the creator can come up with. I want to be able to figure this world out. Like, I want to jump into a new world, not somewhere I've already been. If that makes any sense.
Also, with not necessarily the book movies, but the comic book movies specifically, it's opening up so many jobs, not just in the movie industry, but it's also opening up jobs in the comic book industry because it gets people hooked on comics.
Hooked on comics.
Re-hooked on comics. Hooked on phonics.
Hooked on phonics.
Yeah, re-hooked on comics.
Chronic.
And it's opening up jobs in literally every industry, the textile industry because of all the t-shirts, clothes, the toy industry. It's boosting industry.
Texas on industry isn't the best one to use in this situation.
Well,
a lot of Indonesian kids are doing that. And dying, by the way. It's really
alright, that's a different story.
There's a documentary.
But,
I think movie critics are also ruining Hollywood.
yeah, movie critics definitely are ruining Hollywood.
They have their purpose. We both understand their purpose. Their purpose is to tell people what to watch, but not to watch. They kind of congregate people to which movie, which place to go, yada yada. They have there's a purpose there. I think also though that it is a slippery slope.
When you're sending someone, a critic is critiquing your film and stuff, or your book, you're sending in copies, you're sending in all these promos. So like the really good ones, it's like sometimes I'm like, and the film's not that great. I'm like, what did they have to give you to make you review this good?
Yeah, and private screenings and stuff.
Private screenings, yeah. And then sometimes it's just poor because they have like a bias. Like this director, like M. Night Shyamalan did Avatar and it was horrible.
People
so, like,
hate M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, he did this horrible film. So like in the next film, they already see it and they're not even giving him the chance, like as if it was a new director. They already have that bias.
I think The
and
Visit got good reviews though.
Yeah, and they're like,
it's an M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, so they already have like a biased opinion, and usually it's like every site only has like 1 to 2 reviewers. So and most people only go to one site. Like some people just go to Rotten Tomatoes or just go to IMDb. So it's like people go to that one thing, and it's usually the 2 people are on the same board. On the same page, and they review the movie the same. It's usually like if one gives a 4.5, one's giving a 4.3 or 4.7.
Sure.
Like they're usually only like 0.2 away from each other, and they're usually around the same age. Like sometimes you'll get different genders, but usually it's like the same age, and it's not like a well-rounded review. Like what I feel like they should do is like have one woman, one man, one person at the age of 20, one person at the age of 45, like different ages, different genders, and so you can get a full rounded spectrum. So like when you, instead of seeing 2 people, what 2 people that think alike for the most part say, because if you think about it, they're working for the same company, the same person hired these 2 people, so it's going to be the same type of person.
True.
To an extent. So if you get a well-rounded spectrum of like 5-6 different reviewers on each site, each has like their own demographic.
Yeah, like they're the average between all of them.
Yeah, you're gonna get a better review, and they don't do that. That's one thing I feel like they should do.
Now that movies are all digital.
Okay.
Because film is a gone thing now. Film has become a novelty
for movies.
Anchorman 2 issued the last film movie that's not using film as like its way of a novelty.
Like Hollywood film movie.
Yeah.
Like of course you can find like the independent.
Of course, yeah. Independent people are still using
like the
film.
Big budget Hollywood film.
Film is not going to be like film projectors are not going to be used in cinemas as often anymore. The last movie to force cinema projectors or cinema people to actually use film projectors was Interstellar, because Nolan forced them to.
Cause like here where we live, it's like Regal and Edwards are huge, and you have AMC.
Or Cinepolis.
Almost, yeah. Every single Regal and Edwards, I believe in our area now, has already they've transferred.
They've already switched over.
Projectors.
Because all of the movies now are made on digital.
Yeah.
And because it's cheaper and it costs less and it's much faster and easier to work with, understandably. But I feel like there's an essence. There's like a feeling.
There's like a slight art to
it. Warmth. Exactly. That gets lost in the without the film. But in the same sense that like when you listen to a record, there's that warmth, there's that like feeling that you get with it.
It goes with like all mediums as far as like going from like the physical like grimy work to digital. Like with me, like when I write, it feels better when I'm writing on paper. Like I feel like I don't know, maybe it's just like I'm psyching myself into it, but I feel like my flow is better when I'm just handwriting this stuff instead of like I always keep like an actual paper journal instead of like typing in my notes on my iPhone, because I'm gonna have to like constantly like, oh, I misspelled this, like let me fix it, because like I just feel like digital like takes away like the art to it. Of course, there's certain things that it makes it more proactive to use.
we shoot on a digital camera. It's not film.
Yeah,
and I understand.
There's certain things that make it a proactive, but it also loses like an art to it, like you said. All right, well, thank you for watching What's Ruining Hollywood. If you want to like, comment, and subscribe or share this, it's highly appreciated.
Please do. We would love that.
We would love that. And
check us out at indigest.com.
Ingestproductions.com.
That's what I was saying.
Just every week messes it up. No worries. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, share, and tune in next week for our next video.